Hey, just a warning. While Fuller House is a family show, the Fullest House podcast is not. Listener discretion is advised. Hello and welcome to the Fullest House podcast, where by the end of this episode, I'm going to choose between my two co-hosts. I'm Mark Greene.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz.
And I am totally, Mark, on Team Harrison. You should definitely vote for me. I mean, you should definitely choose me.
I'm also Team Harrison. I hate myself.
Thank you, Zach.
You guys are making my choice very easy. But we'll keep you all in suspense.
I mean, normally I would lend support to Zach, but I mean, my ass is on the line. I gotta go all in.
No, I welcome it.
Yeah, we know that DJ is choosing a boyfriend. We don't know what I'm choosing, so yeah, your ass is on the line. I'm very much like a cop.
Our lives are on the line now. This makes a big difference.
No, your ass is on the line. I'm a hardened police chief from a movie, and you better get your results, or else you're off the force.
Oh no!
Oh, I was about to take it more literally and be like, oh, my ass is on the line, but I'm dummy thick. I can't lose my ass.
Zach, have you never heard the expression "your ass is on the line"?
I know, but I was taking it literally.
Okay. I know sometimes you have trouble.
Yes, sometimes I have trouble. It's my biggest shortcoming. It's why you should choose Harrison over me, because sometimes I don't understand common expressions.
You're making it easy, and I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Wait, what does that mean?
No, it's an expression. It's like, accept good things.
Why would someone give a horse as a gift?
Exactly. These are the big questions.
So this episode is about a wedding!
It's a wedding! The season finale! It's all been building to!
Yes!
It's the season 1 finale of Fuller House, and by extension, Fullest House, I guess.
We made it.
We made it. I did not think we would get this far,
No.
if I'm being completely honest.
This was the oddest thing for us to make during quarantine, but I'm glad. It's a journey we're going on together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real spiritual journey that we're taking with you, dear viewer. And, we've reached the end of season 1. And there's a wedding.
A double wedding.
Yes, a double wedding.
Uncle Jesse and Aunt Becky, the lovely, lovely pair, they are renewing their vows. And then alongside them, Fernando and Kimmy are freeloading.
Yeah.
To get a free wedding out of it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I really like the episode actually starts out at the grand opening of Harmon Fuller Pet Care, and where Steve barges in to tear DJ away from a hug with Matt and hug her himself, and then inserts himself into the grand opening photo right next to DJ. But then we go over to Kimmy, who's explaining to DJ and Stephanie that she's going to piggyback onto the vow renewal. And DJ and Stephanie both say, like, aren't you worried that Uncle Jesse and Aunt Becky aren't going to let you, that'll be a problem? And Kimmy's just kind of like, nah. And the weird thing about it is it's not a problem.
It's not at all. They set up a conflict right away, and then they don't do anything with it. Aunt Becky just accepts it without any problem.
That's the craziest thing to me. There's a whole scene. Kimmy shows them to their honeymoon suite. She's decorated the attic in romantic Becky and Jesse paraphernalia. And she's about to tell them the news that she's going to use their wedding to get married too, when Fernando comes in, calls Uncle Jesse his fellow groom, which there's a whole extended bit about how Uncle Jesse mishears it as fallow grew.
Fallow grew.
Because Fernando's got an accent. It's hilarious.
Yeah, does Fernando have an accent? I never noticed.
Yeah, it's subtle, but
yeah,
you can tell.
Well, apparently not subtle enough for John Stamos.
Yeah. So, like, Uncle Jesse says, like, what? That's crazy. And Becky says, and I quote, adding a real wedding could make our day extra romantic. Which is not a normal reaction.
Nope. I mean, at the very least, I expected a what? What motivated this?
Right.
Why are you doing this to us specifically?
Yeah, she's just like, you're latching on to our special event? How romantic. This is a part of what's so weird about this show.
Are we also going to mention how Uncle Jason's like, is this just an excuse for you guys to piggyback on our wedding? And Fernando just blatantly is like, yes.
Well, I think Uncle Jesse says, like, are you trying to make it romantic, or are you just trying to stick me with the bill for your wedding? And Fernando goes, both.
Good news, it's both.
Yeah, exactly. Good news.
As long as they're honest about it.
But I did just want to say, like, in the original Full House, Aunt Becky is kind of a voice of reason. She's more or less a normal one, and like all of the rest of them, even though Uncle Jesse like rolls his eyes at all the wacky things, he's a bit of a wacky character as well. But in this, Becky's just kind of a crazy person.
Well, I mean, Lori Loughlin.
Yes. Time erodes all things, including Lori Loughlin's morality and Aunt Becky's sanity.
That was a low-hanging fruit, but I had to go for it.
I think the only fruit there was that she's played by Lori Loughlin, but that's okay. I love it. I love the lengths you go to. I love how gung-ho you are. I love your spirit.
Wow, this decision.
Am I building a case for myself?
Yes.
Am I coming back? Well, Mark, maybe choose me.
Damn it, you're back in the race!
I'm back in the game, baby. Listen, in my mind, I know Harrison's the right answer, but that doesn't mean that I won't compete tooth and nail to win, because I'm just that competitive and petty.
This is like your confessional. This is a reality show.
Yeah, it's a reality show. It's like,
Zach didn't come here to make friends.
It's day 54 on the island. I'm like hallucinating because I haven't had food or clean water in weeks. It's like...
I like how this is some kind of perverse combination of Survivor and The Bachelor.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If I think like Survivor and like I didn't come here to make friends, my mind goes to Survivor.
I think I didn't come here to make friends, The Apprentice?
Oh, right. Well, that's like... I feel like Survivor's like the most known...
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a bad place to go to with reality competition. I just love how it changed. How is this the spinoff for the episode? You drop one woman and a bunch of guys on an island, and not only do they have to survive on their own, but also she has to pick one of them to fall in love with.
Yes, this is the spinoff.
And
yes,
when they come back to the mainland, they fight crime.
Yes, they fight crime.
It's like Arrow. They've been building these skills on the island so they can fight crime when they come home.
Wait a second. No, Tyler, you can't reveal it. This is just Love Island.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. I didn't want to be the one to say it.
Yeah.
It's Love Island.
No, I know it's...
Oh, no.
When you started saying island, I was like, you're talking about Love Island, but then I was like, no, they do have to fight to survive.
Yes.
To fight to survive.
That is a part of it.
Yes.
She both sends someone home every week because she's not in love with them.
And because there's not enough food to go around.
Then it's also because there's not enough food to go around. We're also going to add in some naked and afraid to this.
Yes.
They are all naked when they're doing it.
I assumed that was kind of like, it's kind of, I mean, I don't think we needed to clarify that. I kind of assumed they were off the start.
Yeah.
I also think that given the limited resources, they need to exercise creativity when preparing meals and showing their partner that they can be a loving spouse who will feed them. And so we should work in Chopped into the competition.
Because I thought you were gonna say, like, in addition to surviving on an island,
yes,
it's also important that they look their best. So it's America's Next Top Model too.
We're just going to put in all of the reality TV shows.
It's the ultimate reality show.
Yeah, the ultimate reality TV competition.
We drop one single female model and a bunch of single male models on an island, no clothes, They have to survive. They have to make their own clothes so they can then model them.
Yes.
She's going to choose one of them to fall in love with. And, also they're baking. They're cooking, yeah.
Can we also throw in that other really weird Netflix reality show where they just brought in a bunch of like hot strangers to an island and they're not allowed to have sex?
I thought you were going to say also the floor is lava.
Oh, that too. Yes. So it's we also throw in the floor is lava and Too Hot to Handle. So therefore it can go on Netflix. It all ties together. Dude, we've thrown in 2 Netflix reality shows as well.
I really want to work in Temptation Island, but I wonder if we do that, will the show just explode? Like, will a rift in reality just open?
Can we also make it a talent competition?
In addition to choosing one of them, all of the, like, half of the male models are in relationships.
Okay, yes, so we can work this in. Temptation Island all the way.
Anyway, what were we talking about? Fuller House?
We were.
So, dear viewer, if you're wondering why we spent so long on this tangent, it's because pretty much nothing happens this entire episode.
Well, here's my thing.
Cool. Yeah.
I'd argue that things happen in this episode, but nothing is accomplished in this episode.
That's fair.
Yes,
That's fair.
Nothing is accomplished.
And we'll get into that. I think first we should talk about we talked about the scene where Fernando gleefully lets Becky and Jesse know that he's getting married too, and they react in completely the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should talk about Uncle Jesse makes Aunt Becky a romantic candlelit dinner of burgers.
Yes. Call back to their first date.
Yeah. And they say how they're always going to be together and always there for each other. And she immediately leaves to join Kimmy's bachelorette party.
Hell
Yeah.
Gotta go out with the girls.
Girls' night.
Girls' night again.
That we don't see any of.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to run into Max and Val, the horny Eastern European dancers.
Yes!
The horny boys.
Yes!
The horny boys. Yes.
Oh.
God, there's also... God, that's like... Because I was going to bring up another callback to earlier as well, because there's also a plot point where Max is sad that Kimmy is getting married because they're going to leave the house and they're going to move in with Fernando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that comes up and our boy J Money's like, wait, so I get my own room back? So after the entire season, like 10 plus episodes, he has still not learned his lesson.
Yeah, Ramona tells him, I'm very sad to leave you guys. And J Money is like, bye. We're not friends. Our relationship is transactional. I can give you up and get my room back. Fucking done.
Screw you, bitch. I'm getting my own room back.
Yeah, J Money did not learn his lesson.
Nope.
Though he seeks to learn a lesson from old Uncle Jesse about...
Ooh, nice segue.
Thank you. He seeks to learn a lesson about the ladies.
Yeah, I do. I do want to approve of the transition. I know I'm the transition guy, but Mark, you're doing very well here, which I think is another reason why you should pick Harrison over me. Clearly, you can replace me.
Thank you.
That went so differently than how I expected it to go.
I honestly, like, Zach, I've maybe razzed you a couple of times for how hard you stick to those transitions, but having done a transition of my own that went as smoothly as that, like, I feel it.
I know. Once you start, you can't stop. They're so much fun.
They're really good.
It's so much like I did it once and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my thing.
Harrison, do you want me to try to set up a transition for you?
Well,
I'll try to set up something so we can talk about like the baby eating the burger. It's like, yeah, they have burgers, and it's like it's almost cute what they do with the burgers. I don't know. I was trying to set up something for you.
I don't know what to
I gave you burgers, I gave you cute.
What more could you possibly need, Harrison?
I thought you were going to just hop in there with, well, speaking of cute.
Well, speaking of cute, okay.
It's too late now.
It's too late.
I'm sorry. You gave me the opportunity, and
you blew it.
You blew it. I'm falling behind.
Gotta make a note. Another
Is that a point in my favor?
Yes.
Another point in Zach's column, honestly.
Listen, I am my own biggest advocate and my own biggest enemy in this competition. I am my own biggest advocate while simultaneously also being Harrison's biggest advocate.
It's Harrison's column just says objectively better.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
But Zach's column says actually hits all the points that matter.
Damn.
How dare you? I can do transitions. I'll do it at some point.
Oh yeah? Let's see you do a transition right now in front of everyone.
So Jesse blows a raspberry into Tommy to give dating advice.
By the way, the things were just, again, it wasn't any value comment. It was just funny to me how strong we started at, oh, Harrison is the obvious winner. And then Zach's been making a pretty good case for himself. But though also Zach has been making a pretty good case for Harrison.
Exactly.
Well,
I honestly can't decide right now.
I am my own biggest advocate, and I'm also Harrison's biggest advocate.
I gotta take out the competition, Survivor style. Alright, this is my confessional. Okay, so I'll set up an assassin outside of Zach's house because we're in quarantine.
Harrison, it's not hard. I'm literally trying to get rid of myself.
Then that'll only make it easier for me to bump Zach off the island permanently.
I'm giving you a golden opportunity, but much like the transitions, you botched it. Oh, Tyler, can you put in some like air horns and stuff right there? I'd very much appreciate that.
I have two things.
Yes.
One, Zach, gloating is not a good look. So I'm starting to lean a little more towards Harrison.
Well, thank
Good.
you, Mark. Thank you.
And two, Harrison, you were saying something about Jesse was blowing a raspberry onto a baby?
Yes, Jesse blows a raspberry onto a baby and heavily implies that Jackson should do the same to Lola. I don't know if that was the intended effect, but that is definitely how J Money took it.
Yeah, he did that, and I was really hoping that J Money would try to do that on Lola.
I almost thought he would.
He did not.
I thought he would, but it happens, and J Money's like, so I should like blow on her stomach. And I'm gonna be like, no, that move might be a little bit too advanced for you.
I mean, thank God he didn't try it, because then J Money might have been arrested.
But it's also like, come on, you know who you're talking to here, all right? It's J Money.
It's J Money.
All right, he could get any girl he wants.
This is J Money, you guys. Jackson Money.
Fuller.
Jackson Money Fuller.
Fuller.
Show some respect.
May I also point out that J Money has a money tie? J Money has
Yes.
his J Money
Yes.
tie?
The J Money money
Yes.
tie.
Well, the best thing about that was the reveal.
Yes.
Because J Money barges into Ramona's room and says, Ramona, you know Lola. Hey, which tie do you think she'd want more? And he has like a Spider-Man tie.
I think it was like a Santa tie or something like
It was
that.
a Santa tie, yeah. It was some character. Troy has a Spider-Man tie in the Law & Order parody episode of Community.
Oh.
He has a Santa tie and then a money tie. And we were saying, well, he should go with the money tie because he's J Money. And she vetoes the Santa tie. And he says, let's see. Yeah. No, yeah, he immediately refers to it as J Money's money tie. We all lost it.
We all
lost
lost
it.
our shit. But there was another line later that made us lose our shit even more. So we'll get to that later.
He's made us so proud.
I think I brought this up last episode, but I just so appreciate how we started to believe that they'd never say J Money at all. And then once they say it, they do start saying it once or twice an episode.
Oh yeah. Like it was getting to the point where we were like, did we just make up J Money? And then from like the next episode we watched on, it has come up at least once or twice every episode.
Yes, it's a magical occurrence. I think watching this a second time has given us such a better appreciation for all the wonderful things that Fuller House gives us, like J Money. You know?
It's a wonderful show.
It's a wonderful show. A wonderful, weird show.
A wonderful, weird show.
That's one way to describe it.
A wonderful, very bizarre show.
Yes.
But we should say the girls get back and they're drunk.
They are so wasted.
They're wasted.
They're singing the Spice Girls, which is when you know they're having fun.
Girls just want to have fun.
I love the ominous imagery of Jesse sitting in a dark
I was about
room
to bring that up.
with Tommy and that was freaking scary. I was afraid he was gonna like put the baby down and pull out a knife.
Exactly, because it cuts to the kitchen. The lights are off. John Stamos is just staring off into the distance with a baby on his lap. And it is like, it feels like it's a scene from out of a horror movie or something.
The TV's on, but nothing's playing. He's just staring into the void.
He's just staring off into space, yeah.
And he and Aunt Becky go off, and he's going to do God knows what to her. She's going to be saying, have mercy.
Oh.
There we go.
And then 9 months later, there will be another future USC rower.
There you go, Zach.
There you go. That was a very good one.
That was a good one.
You did it.
Thank you.
That was your best one today.
Yes, thank you. For those of you who don't know, I made it my mission ever since the first time we watched Fuller House that every time Aunt Becky's on screen, I will try to make as many Lori Loughlin jokes as humanly possible.
Well, it was funny to me today because we started watching the episode and you said, well, I'm just going to keep going for it. I'm just going to try to get it out the best I can every single time she's on screen.
Yeah.
And you did it.
You did it.
I did a thing.
You found a winner.
There was like one scene where she's like, oh, don't worry, here's what I'm gonna do to you tonight. And she like leans in and whispers, and I'm like, oh, there's gotta be something funny here. And I couldn't think of anything. So that's probably another point into Harrison's column right there, is that like, there was very clearly a joke there. I just couldn't think of it.
I was getting worried about you. I didn't want you to strain yourself.
We all have our weak moments, you know?
Yeah.
We all stumble every now and then. But you got it. You found a good one.
Yeah.
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 I got one.
But as Uncle Jesse goes off to plow Aunt Becky,
Yes.
DJ, Stephanie, and Kimmy go to Stephanie's room to call Michelle?
That's right. She exists.
Right.
She does exist.
She's off in New York running her fashion empire.
Yeah.
But it's 5 a.m. there.
And they all do Michelle impressions. They say all her catchphrases. They say, "You got it, dude."
Yeah.
They say them all. Did I do that?
That one's not Michelle.
Which isn't Michelle. That's not Michelle.
That's not Michelle.
That's the kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing they're doing.
That's right.
That, yeah.
I'd like to think that, Michelle wakes up in the morning, she listens to that message, looks out the window thinking, why am I the black sheep of the family? For making a life for myself? For moving to New York?
I had also thought, I'd also said right after, do you think that Michelle, or by extension, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, ever lay awake at night and wonder what could have been, and then peacefully fall asleep knowing that it was this?
Do you think, when Michelle was in college, something really dramatic happened between her and the family?
Oh my god.
And that's why she doesn't talk to them anymore?
Oh dear. Oh, what could have happened? Let's see.
She got into a horrible accident and none of them visited her?
Maybe.
And the entire family here's the thing, the rest of the family has clearly not gotten over it based on the fact that they stared into the camera for a solid minute in the pilot episode.
Yeah, we thought these were all jokes, but no, there's legitimate familial strife.
There's legitimate beef here.
There's beef. I do want to say that I think it's significant. It's established that this is the day after Kimmy and Fernando got engaged again.
Yes.
Kimmy says we got engaged and tomorrow we're getting married.
And also the night before, when they're all drunk, they all go up to sleep or whatever, and on their own, Steph calls Matt to be DJ's date, and Kimmy calls Steve to be DJ's date.
Yeah, I was going to get to that, but I just want to say, when they're calling Michelle, Kimmy says, "Why come to my wedding?" which I think is part of the Michelle impression. But it's what a weird message to receive. Kimmy Gibbler calls you, says, "Why aren't you coming to my wedding?" the day after she got engaged.
Yeah!
Yeah, just expecting her to fly across the country.
Right?
Oh god. That's a spin-off movie right there. Michelle gets to college, he's like, oh god, I gotta make it to San Francisco.
My older sister's best friend, who I haven't seen in years.
I gotta make it. I know that I, got into a horrible accident with Mr. Woodchuck, But I'm
Yes.
going to put that behind, and I'm going to fly to San Francisco and see Kimmy Gibbler get married, no matter what it does to my psyche.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Zach, but I just wanted to get it out there that the circumstances make this an even weirder phone call. But you're right. Stephanie calls Matt and says, "You're gonna be DJ's date tomorrow," and Kimmy calls Steve and says, "You're gonna be DJ's date tomorrow."
And then they both show up.
Yep. Drama.
Ooh, and DJ promises that she'll have a decision for them by the end of the day. And drama ensues.
But we should say in that scene where they show up, and at other points in this episode, this is the beginning of one of our favorite aspects of the show.
Yes.
Which is the Matt-Steve bromance.
Oh my god. It's so wonderful. I mean, it comes in more later in the show.
Yeah.
But like Matt and Steve are becoming friends, and it is a beautiful, beautiful friendship.
They both arrive. They're like out of breath. They both arrive. They're lamenting like, we're in so much stress because of this, because you won't choose between us, that like, you know, we're not sleeping right. And they're like, "Oh, did you have to take an antacid?" And it's like, "Yeah, oh, I can give you." And then my favorite part of this, where like Steve goes down to talk to DJ and he says like, "Look, Matt is great and he's incredibly handsome. I 100% understand if you choose him, but I do love you, DJ." And Matt says, "And DJ, I get it. Steve's cute as a puppy, but I love you too." Like they're just paying each other compliments and sympathizing with each other, and it's just a wonderful example of male friendship. And yeah, they're fighting over a girl, which is bad, but like they really do. I think they do love each other more than they love DJ, or at least as much.
As much, definitely.
I also do want to point out the entire episode, because we all know clearly Stephanie is team Matt, Kimmy is team Steve. We'd like to put our hat in the ring. We'd like to say the Good Time Boys are officially team Thruple.
Yes, 100%.
Thruple. We chanted that multiple times throughout the episode.
There were so many moments that could have led to that. I mean, there's literally the imagery of DJ grabbing them both by the hands and then dragging them behind her out the door to go to the wedding. I'm just saying, you know, the subtext is rapidly becoming text.
And it's wedding time, my dudes. Double wedding, officiated by none other than our favorite Canada's favorite son, Dave Coulier,
who, in an odd twist, is decked out in hockey. He's wearing a hockey jersey. He's on skates. He has a hockey stick. And he explains that in order to get ordained, he created a hockey-based religion.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up, how he created a religion. Does that mean that Mr. Woodchuck is now a holy idol?
Oh, no.
In all likelihood, yes.
No, he's a saint.
Ah, yes.
Obviously.
Saint Mr. Woodchuck, yes.
Saint Mr. Woodchuck. Yeah.
Saint Woodchuck.
Saint Woodchuck.
Happy Saint Woodchuck's Day.
Oh, no.
God bless us, everyone. That's my favorite thing to say in reference to any holiday that isn't Christmas. Happy Flag Day. God bless us, everyone.
I was gonna make a Flag Day reference, but you beat me to it.
Uncle Joey, I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah.
There are easier ways to get ordained.
Nope. There are much easier ways, but not all of them involve a sports-themed religion, which I think we need more of nowadays in this divisive world.
Yeah, in this divisive world, what we really need is more religions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially ones based on things such as sports, which, as we all know, tie us all together. There's no such thing as like a heated sports rivalry where you'll just like hate someone because of what team they support. Not at all.
I mean, can I ask something though?
Yes.
So like he says religion and we keep saying religion, but it's a cult, right?
Yes.
Oh, for sure.
He is definitely like making a batch of Kool-Aid.
Not much is explained about the religion other than it's hockey based, but knowing what we know about Uncle Joey, it is most certainly a cult.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cult.
Yes. But wait, is the cult a bunch of Dave Coulier clones, or is he infecting the public?
We tie it back to our Dave Coulier clones spin-off idea.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe it's part of his master plan to, like, disseminate the clones.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They all serve as, like, archbishops of his religion.
Yes. He is the Pope.
No, or in order to convince his followers that he has, like, powers, he just uses them to be like, look at how fast he is. He's everywhere at once.
It's like a bunch of Dave Couliers walking in a straight line.
Yeah. I'd like to think that's how he'd use them. That's how I'd use clones of myself. To be like, oh yeah, meet you in the kitchen, and then someone goes to the kitchen and I'm already there. Because I have my clone waiting there.
I can't get over this idea.
Yeah,
no, that's totally fair. If you have clones of yourself, just use them to fuck with people.
Use them to fuck with people. Use them to make people think you're really fast.
It's the subversion of his arch rival Michelle, who is actually one Olsen, but is moving really back and forth to make us believe that there are two Olsen twins. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's all connected. I do also want to mention Max is upset because he doesn't want Ramona to move away.
Yes, I was going to bring this up.
Yeah, he tells this to Kimmy, and Kimmy says, well, what if I let you be... She doesn't say... I don't think she says ring bearer.
No, she uses the term Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
God damn it.
Which Max immediately says, like Frodo.
Mm-hmm.
And we went, Frodo wasn't the Lord of the Rings.
No.
It was Sauron.
That's the Lord of the Rings, yes. And also, Frodo is a terrible ring bearer. I mean, he made it most of the way, but...
Yeah, she explains... Yeah, he makes it most of the way, but he really beefed it on that final component.
Yeah. He had a strong start and middle, Frodo. But anyways, not a role model for ring bearing.
I will say, though, that it comes to the ceremony, and Max comes out, and he asks if Tommy can be, like, his associate ring bearer, because Frodo had Sam, so Max has Tommy. But he comes out, and I was really disappointed that Max wasn't dressed up as a hobbit.
That was a missed opportunity.
Yeah, 100%. He even had, like, a 3-piece suit, which I think that's what they wear in
He just needed, like, a cape and some fake feet.
It's all, yeah.
I do also want to say, just to put it out there, one of my favorite things in the world, just one of my comedy buttons, is people overpronouncing Lord of the Rings things.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed, but instead of saying Sauron, I said Sauron.
Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
Sauron.
The Riders of Rohan.
Mordor.
Mordor.
Smaug. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I can just do that for hours. I won't, but I could.
We should have, like, an entire episode of the podcast dedicated to Mark overpronouncing Lord of the Rings terms.
Saruman. Rivendell. Lothlorien.
What have I done?
You guys should stop me.
Yeah, so the ceremony continues, and it gets to the point where they're reciting their vows, and Joey asks Fernando and Jesse, do you take the two of them to be your lawfully wedded wives? Yes, Mark, you had something to say?
Just during the ceremony, we should say, I think it's as Kimmy and Becky walk down the aisle, Steph starts playing an original song that is definitely not Country Roads. And there is a montage in which we see various people gazing lovingly at each other. It starts with, like, DJ and Steve and Matt, or maybe it starts with, you know, Becky and Jesse and Kimmy and Fernando, but we go to DJ and Steve and Matt. We see J Money and Lola. We go to Ramona, who's looking at Tommy because he's a baby and he's very cute.
Max is looking at the dog.
Joey.
Yep. I knew this was where it was going.
Joey is looking at Mr. Woodchuck, who he brought to a wedding.
And all of us shuddered.
Yeah, this is the first appearance of Mr. Woodchuck in the episode. He just shows up during this montage.
He's just there.
And he's just staring lovingly at Mr. Woodchuck.
Unexpected Mr. Woodchuck is the most terrifying thing. I have ever seen. I wrote in my notes, in all caps, Joey brought Mr. Woodchuck.
I also do want to bring up, like, I'm glad that someone's finally mentioning the sexual tension between Joey and Mr. Woodchuck.
I mean, he was living alone all those years in the house.
Exactly.
He needed a companion. Yeah.
His touch was so soft. We tried to resist it. But...
Oh my god.
Sex with a stuffed animal is it really, there's really no comparison.
There's already a big hole in him. He's a puppet.
Jesus fucking Christ.
We should stop. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop myself this time.
Yeah.
How about I say more Lord of the Rings things?
No.
So they recite their vows. Kimmy and Fernando and Jesse and Lori Loughlin and Becky, are reciting their vows.
I'm sorry if that bit destroyed us. We can never return.
They're reciting their vows, and they get to the I do's. And he asks Jesse and Fernando, do you take these two to be your lawfully wedded wives? And they both go, I do. And then he turns to Kimmy and Becky and asks, would you take these two as your lawfully wedded husbands? And Becky says, I do. And Kimmy runs into the house.
Yep.
Because she doesn't know if she can marry Fernando.
Yeah.
She doesn't know if she can do it. They've been through so much. Ramona comes in to console her.
They eat cake.
They eat the wedding cake. Yeah, it's a little like, there's not only another person that you're marrying, there's a whole other couple.
Yeah, it was their thing to begin with, and you stole it from them.
Yeah, that's also very fair. Like, it was their thing.
If anything, Becky should have the first slice of cake.
But she says to Ramona, like, I've already put you through so much. I don't want to put you through more. And Ramona's like, you should do it. I love you too, and it'll be okay. Or whatever she says. I honestly forget. This whole part was so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, when Kimmy first goes, I, and then runs out, do you want to hear my impression of Tyler at that moment?
Yes.
Do it.
What?
That was a good impression.
Is that 2 episodes in a row I got to flex my Tyler impression. Before Kimmy goes back out, it cuts to the altar and Joey is vamping with Mr. Woodchuck.
Yes, that I'm glad someone brought it. It's another unexpected Mr. Woodchuck moment.
Does Mr. Woodchuck have sentience? How did he get to the altar?
Mr. Woodchuck fucks, bro.
Well, I assume it. Yeah, no, I know. I assume Joey put him on his hand.
Okay.
Yeah, as you do with puppets.
Though I do like your theory that he clambered up on his chair. I'm gonna guess, did a standing jump onto Uncle Joey's hand?
Mr. Woodchuck just gained sentience.
Yes, he did. And then he starts doing a comedy bit of, is this hockey stick made of wood?
I love the Mr. Woodchuck voice.
It was a plastic stick! He was looking at a plastic stick!
Well, here's the thing. I wanna make an executive vote right now. Harrison, we make up the majority. It's 2 out of the 3 hosts.
Okay.
Petition to have Mark do an entire episode of the podcast with the Mr. Woodchuck voice. Yay or nay?
I'll fucking do it. I'll do it.
I need to think about this. Hold on a moment. I'm just wondering if 2020 hasn't had enough catastrophes. You know?
It's a good point.
Never mind, we're doing it.
Okay, then.
It doesn't take a lot to convince Harrison.
So he's vamping with Mr. Woodchuck. And Kimmy comes back in.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Joey starts going through it again. Do you take her to be your lovely wedded wife?
Dear God, what have I done?
Oh, do you want me to stop?
No, this is wonderful.
Do you want me
Please
to
keep
stop?
going. Please keep going. Keep going, Mr. Woodchuck.
I'll do it. Okay, are we good?
We're good.
Mr.
We're good, Mr. Woodchuck.
So he asks everybody, will you take this person, etc. And he gets to Kimmy again. And he says, Kimmy, will you pick Fernando to be your lawfully wedded husband? And Kimmy goes, I. And then she runs away again. Twice she runs away.
Why is this so entertaining to me?
Well, Zach, I'm doing a silly voice. I'm doing a very silly voice.
I'm very easily
It's not even
entertained.
Mr. Woodchuck anymore. It's just a very silly voice.
I'm starting to see the appeal of Mr. Woodchuck.
Oh gosh.
Oh
God.
my god.
Quick question. If it's starting to hurt my throat, can I stop?
Yeah, you can stop if it hurts your throat.
Yeah, I was gonna say you went a lot longer than I thought you were going to with that bit.
It's beginning to hurt.
Jesus.
Ahem.
Oh my god. Mark,
That was wonderful.
thank you.
I have to give you like a round of
Thank
applause
you.
for that. That was
Thank you.
You've always been the best of us.
I'm
a
flattered.
solid golf clap from me.
You
I'm
are
flattered.
the Lord of the Rings.
That's why Mark is the one who has to make the decision. Like, Mark's spot is confirmed.
Your ass is not on the line.
Exactly.
Thank you. It's me. It's our good friend Toby.
Yes.
Yes, Toby.
Hi everybody, just stopping by.
Oh, hey, thanks, Toby.
Toby! Hey, how's it going, Toby?
Oh, he just left. I don't think he's
Oh,
staying
okay.
very long. this
Ah.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
Are we still on for lacrosse next Saturday?
Hey Toby, are we still on for lacrosse next Saturday, all of us? Yeah, I think we are. He said yes.
Alright, cool. Cool.
So in case...
Oh.
Gonna give Zach a minute to regain composure.
Yeah, I need a minute. Keep going. Just go without me.
Okay. In case anybody missed it because I was doing a voice, Uncle Joey goes through it all again, and Kimmy again goes, I, and then runs into the house, which you gotta give her credit, because I think it's very hard to be a runaway bride when the wedding takes place in your backyard.
That's a very valid point.
But she pulled it off.
She pulls
She
it
did.
off twice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's right.
And this time, DJ and Stephanie go in to console her. Although I don't think they do a very good job of it.
Nope.
Yeah, they pretty much try to convince her to not marry Fernando.
Which, like, that's fine. It's fine if they don't think she should marry Fernando. Fernando cheated on her. Fernando might not be right for it. Fernando's my boy. Fernando's
We love Fernando, but still.
number one in my
We
heart.
love Fernando.
We love Fernando.
We're just saying this because we want Fernando for ourselves.
Yes. And there is an argument, but I'm just saying DJ says, you know I haven't always been a fan of Fernando. But that doesn't influence what I'm going to tell you now. Don't marry Fernando. And then Stephanie says, marry Fernando. If it doesn't work out, you can just divorce him again.
She's very good at this. She's very, very good at this.
Stephanie also goes on like a whole thing where it's like, guys, what matters is that there are people out there who love us. And where I thought she was going to go with that, was I thought she was going to go with the bit where it's like, see, DJ, you have Matt and Steve, Kim, you have Fernando, and I have no one. But no, she makes it about the she-wolf pack, which is a lot less fun. It's good.
No, it's nice. We all have each other. It's
nice.
Right. You're right. She is alone. They missed out on that joke. This is kind of a low-key Steph is a mess scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just part of her now. It's just ingrained in her soul.
She's embraced the sadness.
She's embraced the sadness. There's nothing left but the void.
Eventually, she comes back out again for the third time. Eventually, the Steph keeps on abridging the song further and further when she comes back out. And she's about to say I do again. And she tries to run back, and they form an impenetrable circle around her.
Yes, which doesn't feel kosher to me.
Nope.
Yeah, that doesn't... Yeah.
If a woman is trying to escape, if she has to be physically restrained so she marries you, maybe you shouldn't marry the woman.
We were also thinking, like, you know, after the second time, we were just thinking, oh, Fernando's got to, like, if it were us in Fernando's shoes, we'd be starting to take it a little bit personally after the second time.
Yep.
Let alone the first.
Though Fernando does have a line after the second time she runs in. He says, "Don't worry, this happens at all of our weddings." So presumably it did happen the first
Which
time.
definitely helps.
Definitely helps.
Yeah.
Definitely helps.
She didn't want to get married to him in the first place. He cheated on her. They got divorced. I might be starting to see DJ's point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, let's point out that there's a line that says that Kimmy and Fernando had Ramona only a few weeks after their wedding, meaning that was a shotgun wedding.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
nearly 9 months pregnant. And they're having their wedding then.
Which it must have been pretty hard for her to run from the altar when she's that pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Not safe. Not safe.
Not safe. But yeah, Kimmy has to be physically restrained so she can marry Fernando, which doesn't feel right to me.
Nope.
But then she and Fernando have a conversation where she says, I like where my life is at and I don't want it to change.
Yeah.
And so they agree to not get married.
Yeah, they agree to stay engaged for the time being.
Yes.
And they finally get the I do, which is really all that Joey cared about.
Wait, so my question is, they start this episode engaged. And I mean, as an audience goer, I would have presumed that they would spend some time engaged before getting married.
Mm-hmm.
And in this episode, they decide to get married and then choose to stay engaged. So what was the point of this episode?
Yes. As we said.
Yeah, there's no point. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, so technically you are right that they are spending some time together as engaged before they get married. But at the same time, like, what was the point of this episode?
That's what I'm saying.
At the end, DJ's picking between Matt and Steve, and she picks herself.
That's the next thing that happens.
Yeah.
Jesse and Becky bail, so Kimmy doesn't stick him with the bill.
Which, smart, good on them. Just, that was shitty of them.
Good on them.
Yes.
Yep. And then outside, they have a full-on bachelorette rose-giving ceremony where DJ's finally going to pick them, and they all make very dramatic speeches. The audience laughs during Matt's speech.
Which is very weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
What he was saying wasn't that funny.
The audience is very biased because they laugh for Matt and then they awe for Steve.
Yeah.
So the audience is very biased here.
Very biased. Which, like, when that happened, I said, like, well, I guess they're laughing because it's a parody of The Bachelorette, and that's the joke. But no, it's just, I guess the audience hates Matt, which, like,
Yes.
I know Steve was in the original show, but Matt's not a bad guy.
No, not at all. What he was saying wasn't douchey. It wasn't really funny. It was just standard romantic speech. I don't know. Maybe the writers, like, thought it was the funniest thing ever. Like, they wrote it while they were high, and then they didn't bother to check if it was a joke afterwards.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah. But so it finally comes time for DJ to choose.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I choose me.
Whoa. She's a strong, independent woman.
She don't need no man.
Which is good. Like, honestly, that's kind of the choice I can sympathize the most with. DJ doesn't need a man to make her happy. Also, she's not, if she can't, as she says, this has been all so crazy and she couldn't decide in the first place. Maybe she's just not ready to be dating.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
But this isn't how we usually use the term. I also sympathize with our sad boys who Steve immediately says to Matt, "Oh man, you want to get a beer?" And Matt says, "Yeah, I could use a beer right now, bro." It's the beginnings of the bromance.
I also do want to say there's also a thing beforehand where they both say, like, I thought she was going to pick you. No way, I thought she was going to pick you.
Yeah. DJ has put them through so much strife that they've emerged from the other side the best buddies.
And it is the best part of the show, which you will see in season 2.
Maybe Steve and Matt are endgame.
Yeah, I think that's really what we're going for here, Steve and Matt.
I'm down.
Steve and Matt.
I'd go for it.
But yeah, no, like, it's great when we see two sad boys combining and becoming best friends, which brings us to our favorite segment. Say it with me, everybody. It's time for the Sad Boy of the Week. I didn't think you guys were actually going to say it with me. I was more so saying that for like the audience at home. But you know what? I appreciate your enthusiasm. So, I mean, not much really happens in this episode.
No.
And I'm going to be honest. I don't know who I want. I think, okay.
Yeah, I don't know either.
There's one person I want to nominate because of one thing that we have yet to mention. And that is, of course, our eternal sad boy, J Money.
J Money.
J Money.
Are you talking about his final scene with Lola?
Yes, I am. Here's what happens. The wedding is over and Lola is leaving and J Money's like, "Oh, do you want a hug goodbye?" And Lola says no. And then she kisses him and leaves. Which, like, shout out to our boy for getting some action. And right afterwards he turns to Ramona and Max and goes, "Hold on, I want to make sure I got the line right, because it's the one quote listed in IMDb, which is wonderful." And he says, and I quote, "J Money just got some honey."
Yeah, boy.
Quite possibly the best line in the series to date.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah. I was going to say the best use of J Money, but no, you're right. Best line in the series, or any series?
Yeah.
Yeah, any series.
But yeah, J Money, that because of that and the J Money tie, he's just a complete mess of a human being, and I love it.
Yeah. Okay, well, I do have a couple of other suggestions, or nominations.
Let's hear it.
I want to put forth Fernando. I think I did have... There was something in mind. I'm forgetting exactly what the specific thing was, but he has a vibe over this episode, and I'm sure we'll get to it, because we usually just kind of run through everything they do in the episode. And little bit Steph.
That's also fair.
I actually, upon further thought, I actually have a nomination. Our boy Uncle Jesse.
Yeah, I was gonna bring him up too. If you weren't gonna bring him up, I was gonna bring him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets some sad boy points in this episode.
Yeah.
He goes through quite a bit to get this vow renewal off.
Yeah. And I think my final nomination would be Kimmy.
That's also fair.
Kimmy, yeah, Kimmy's a good one.
So let's run through them.
All right.
There's J Money, who I think I can run through the things he does in the episode, but I think the main point, well, there's one, the second he hears his friend who he's been living with for a year might be moving out, he says, "Awesome, I get my room again." So we find out he's never learned his lesson.
That's true. I forgot about that.
And then also, I think it's sort of this overarching thing of he wears the J Money tie. He gets kissed and says, "J Money just got some honey." That his entire identity now is J Money.
And the show is that much better because of it.
The show is that much better because of it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point that until now, a little piece of Jackson has survived. He is dead now. It's all J Money.
It's all J Money? Always has been.
He's always been there under the surface, but he had yet to fully emerge.
The beginning of this series, he was in his cocoon.
And now he's a beautiful butterfly. Now
he's a beautiful, sad butterfly.
J Money butterfly.
He thought that he was an ugly, cool duckling because he wanted to be cool. But then he found out that he is a beautiful, sad swan.
We know J Money is sad in general, but in this episode, I think I was nominating Fernando mostly because he gets almost left at the altar 3 times.
Yes.
Yep. 3 times.
And it's kind of like, okay. All right.
He's like, this has happened before many times.
We have Steph, who still very invested in everybody's drama, is all alone and is kind of like, yeah, marry a guy however many times you want. Just divorce him again and again and again. Life is a mess. Everybody's life is a mess, right?
Yeah.
Here's where I think it really gets involved. There's Uncle Jesse.
Yes.
Who I think was a good nominee, because now that I think about it, he arrives, immediately finds out that his nice vow renewal ceremony will be co-opted by 2 crazy people. His wife immediately signs onto it. He then, when he tries to have a romantic night with his wife, gets ditched. He wakes up all night for them to return. He gets his vow renewal interrupted a bunch of times because of Kimmy Gibbler's drama. Kimmy Gibbler eats his cake.
That's right. She eats his cake. He doesn't even get a bite of it.
And not only does he not get his wedding, not only does he not get a bite, he doesn't get to really see his family afterwards because he has to run from the ceremony because he's so fed up with the weekend and doesn't want to spend a second there anymore.
Did you also mention how he got stuck with babysitting duty?
Yes, he gets stuck with babysitting duty.
Feeding a burger to a baby.
Yeah, he feeds a burger to a baby, which, let's admit it, was very cute.
It's very cute.
Maybe this is my arc for the season. The baby went from being a bad baby to being very cute.
That's Mark's character arc this season.
That's my character arc. I'm on board with the baby.
Wait, before we start voting, I have one more nominee at the end. I think we got an 8. I got to nominate Dave Coulier.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna go through Kimmy as well.
Oh yeah.
We spent a lot of time just reiterating how sad J Money is. It I think detracted focus.
Yeah.
Yes, I forgot that we had one more nominee to go through, but I am nominating Canada's favorite son, Dave Coulier.
Yeah, Kimmy, who I think isn't super sad until the wedding, but running out on or attempting to run out on your own wedding. No, I mean, like, you do you, but the way she doesn't seem physically capable of explaining anything. I don't know. Or the way she does it multiple times. She runs out, decides to go back, runs out again, tries to run out again.
Yeah. Not a good look. Not a good look.
And then we do have Canada's favorite son, Dave Coulier.
With his hockey cult.
Who, is sad because instead of just getting ordained online or something, he starts a hockey cult. He brings a puppet to a wedding.
A puppet who is his lover, as we've established.
His puppet, who's definitely his lover.
Yes.
Vamps with the puppet, and just, I guess, has to be on skates the entire time?
I guess so.
Seems annoying.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
So I think those...
All right.
Unless we have anything else, those are...
I think I have my vote. My final vote for season 1.
I have my vote, my final for season 1.
Harrison?
I have my vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
I'm voting for Uncle Jesse.
I'm voting for Jesse as well.
Oh yeah, that's 3 for 3 on Uncle Jesse.
Hell yeah!
I think it's sometimes the heart wants what it wants, and sometimes it's like, I know we want J Money to be sad, I know we want Fernanda to be sad, but I think you just look at the facts. Uncle Jesse was very sad this episode.
Very sad.
There you have it, folks. Our final Sad Boy of the Week winner for season 1 of Full House. Uncle Jesse from Full House, baby. And allow me to just say, because we're wrapping up season 1, I just want to give one final wrap up of the leaderboard as a whole. After season 1, we've got Macy Gray, which I still can't believe. Kimmy, Danny, J Money, Fernando, and Jesse now, all with 1 win. Stephanie and Ramona with 2. And our season 1 champion of Sad Boy of the Week with 3 points, Dr. Steve Hale.
Woo!
Congratulations. There's no real reward other than, I guess, the sadness, but, it's an accomplishment.
Tyler, put in loud cheering when Steve wins.
Yes, please do. But, yeah. Thank you all for watching season 1 of Fullest House.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching, for listening. It's wonderful. I guess the only thing left is for me to make my choice.
But wait, hold on. Before you do that, we're going to take a week or 2 off. I need to make a plea. Juan Pablo Di Pace, please come on our podcast.
Yes.
We waited for 13 episodes.
Listen, Juan Pablo.
Please.
You've listened to all of season 1 now. I'm assuming you've listened to all of them in order. Otherwise, this is going to be really awkward. And you've noticed, listen, you're our favorite character. And we know that you may not have won season 1 of Sad Boy of the Week. That's fine. You become a major character later in the show, and we know that it only gets better as it goes along. So please, Juan Pablo, we are begging you, please come on our podcast.
We know Zach's been writing you letters.
Yes, we've been sending fan mail.
Fernando is a fine wine who only gets better as the show goes on. So please come on our podcast. Either Harrison or I won't be here because obviously Mark has to choose. Yeah. Whatever the rules of this choice are.
Yeah, whatever the rules of this choice are.
Yeah, well, one of you is gonna go off to the Heaviside Lair.
That's what it's for. Gotcha.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. I have to make my jellicle choice.
The Heaviside Lair. Obviously.
Wait, so whoever he chooses is the one who dies?
Wait a second.
So are you saying that my strategy to not be picked has been working this entire time?
Look, they had it right. All the candidates should have just sang songs about who they are and what they do.
Zach, we have to have the music off.
Musical bits off. It's okay. I don't think we have time for a musical bits off. I think.
Yeah, we don't.
But yeah, please follow us on social media. We are Fullest House Pod on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're gonna take a break for a week in between seasons, but thank you so much for listening. If you have been listening, until next time, I'm Mark Greene.
I'm Harrison Bloom.
And I'm Zach Horowitz.
And I'm gonna choose. I can't! Good night, everybody.